The Sunfallen Road, Chapter 24. I spent many days in Eri's company. He was a simple man, and he enjoyed simple pleasures. A cup of tea, a well-made soup, a sunset. He seemed so curiously at peace with himself that I occasionally felt a hint of envy. He didn't fight the world, he moved with it like a tide. He shared these things with me, and although he said little, he taught me much. He taught me to meditate, and when I went deep inside into the alpha state, I saw rich unfolding fields bathed in sun, sakura trees in full bloom, the sun rising over the ocean. I heard 1,000 singing voices above me, and I knew they were the joyful dead who did not mourn their deaths, but celebrated life and watched over the living. They were like angels whose shining faces watched down with kindness upon us. But inside me, I realized the weight of guilt I felt at the things I had done. The spirits who had guided me on this journey traveled through the abyss of my mind with me, their faces gazing on me with kind concern, their hands touching me gently as I wept for the deaths I had inflicted upon humanity. But you had no choice, Melpomene, they whispered to me. Think of what you have done to keep from being a monster. You are human, inside. I talked with Eri about these feelings. He shook his head. We all have them, Shinju, he said. Our challenge is to move on. He called me Pearl in Japanese, because he said after I had meditated, my eyes took on a shining iridescence, lit from within like a pearl. And, he said, because pearls are not as fragile as they look, although they can be ground to dust with enough pressure. Days passed, weeks. One day, I took it upon myself to travel to the nearest city, miles upon miles away, to send a letter to my beloved Silver. I told him where I was, and that I might be close to finding the gates of Etzion-Geber. I told him how much I loved him, and that I hoped to be home soon. I kissed it before I dropped it in the box and sped back to Eri's dwelling. One day, as I meditated, I found myself standing on a plain, lit by beautifully unobscured sunlight. Behind me was a sakura tree in full bloom, its petals full and ripe. I saw a man standing there, but he was not a man. He was an angel. He was dark and seemed at odds with the landscape, but I stepped towards him, and he took me by the shoulders. You have been seeking the gates, Melpomene, said Uriel, for he it was, heaven's dark angel of death. You have been seeking me. I nodded. He embraced me as a father would a child, and then released me. Look. Above us, the deep abyss of my memory flashed in the sky, rendering the landscape dark. I shuddered, but he held me close to him, comforting me against the storm. I saw across the landscape of my life, dark days filled with blood and anguish. I saw Silver, him who I loved more than I loved life itself, but as he passed before my eyes, I saw a seed of an emotion, the desire to be human, not just for him, but for myself, to live a life in the light. It has always been inside you, said Uriel, and it has been growing. I looked at him. If I go through those gates, I could die. But what will you have lost? He asked me. If you die, you will be free of the pain of the life you live now. If you live, you will return to a love as human as you can be, live a life with him, grow old, die. You have nothing to lose. At that moment, I felt my heart would break. I cried, and for the first time in more than 200 years, my tears were clear, not bloody. He lifted my face, and with his dark but kind eyes, he looked at me. The sky began to clear, and slowly the light returned to the plain and the tree, now weeping petals. You will never be more ready than you are now, he said. Come. I opened my physical eyes. Eri sat there, his arms folded inside his kimono. He looked at me. "Your journey begins," he said, and got to his feet.